As the years gracefully unfold, the choices we make at the dinner table transform from simple preferences into pivotal decisions for our well-being. For seniors across the nation, selecting the right foods transcends mere flavor or convenience. It becomes a critical strategy for safeguarding heart health, ensuring consistent energy levels, quelling inflammation, and fortifying a robust immune system. Yet amidst the wealth of nutritional advice, one seemingly straightforward food group often becomes a surprising source of confusion. Vegetables. Yes, those universally hailed champions of health. But here's a truth that catches many older adults off guard, a secret that could be the difference between vibrant aging and unnecessary decline. Not all vegetables are created equal, especially when it comes to the unique needs of senior health. In fact, a select few, often lurking innocently in our meals, could be silently sabotaging your vitality, while others are unsung heroes you absolutely must embrace. Are you unknowingly consuming vegetables that could worsen inflammation, spike your blood sugar, interfere with vital medications, or trigger digestive distress? Conversely, are you missing out on the powerhouse vegetables that pack an unparalleled combination of fiber, antioxidants, and age-defying nutrients specifically beneficial for those over 60? This isn't about drastic dietary overhauls or eliminating entire food groups. It's about making informed, senior-savvy choices that can profoundly impact your joints, your brain, your blood pressure, and your overall long-term wellness. If you or a loved one is navigating the vibrant years beyond 60, the insights shared by NutriHub Bliss in the following sections are not just interesting, they're essential. We're about to dive deep into the 4 worst vegetables that might be doing more harm than good, and the 4 absolute best that should become staples in your weekly routine. This is information you can't afford to ignore, a guide to smarter, senior-friendly vegetable choices, because when it comes to vegetables in your golden years, it's not just about eating more, it's about choosing better. It might seem almost counterintuitive to label a vegetable as worst, especially one as commonly found as corn. From comforting home-cooked casseroles to vibrant summer picnics, and even as a frequent offering in senior care facilities, canned corn holds a familiar place in many diets, while fresh corn, in its natural state, can offer some dietary fiber and antioxidants. The canned version presents an entirely different nutritional profile, one that can be particularly problematic for seniors. Many older adults continue to include it regularly in their meals, blissfully unaware of the subtle yet significant ways it might be undermining their health goals. The core issue with canned corn lies not just in its starchy nature, but in its transformation into a processed product. This processing often introduces 2 of the most significant dietary adversaries for older adults: added sugar and excessive sodium. As we age, our body's ability to manage blood sugar can become less efficient. Many seniors are already contending with pre-diabetes, full-blown type 2 diabetes, or insulin resistance. Canned corn typically possesses a high glycemic index, meaning it can cause a rapid surge in blood sugar levels, particularly when consumed in generous portions or alongside other carbohydrate-rich foods. These frequent blood sugar spikes don't just temporarily affect energy. Over time, they contribute to unwanted weight gain, especially around the midsection, exacerbate inflammation throughout the body, and play a role in the development or worsening of long-term cardiovascular problems. Beyond blood sugar, digestive health, a common concern for seniors, can also be negatively impacted. Older adults often experience slower gut motility and increased sensitivity to certain types of fiber. Corn, especially in its canned form, contains a type of insoluble fiber that can ferment in the gut. For many, this leads to uncomfortable bloating, excessive gas, and even constipation, issues that already plague a significant number of older individuals on a daily basis. Furthermore, the canning process itself can introduce other concerns. Many canned vegetables, including corn, are packed with preservatives. The cans themselves are often lined with BPA, bisphenol A, a chemical that has raised concerns about its potential to interfere with hormone balance and kidney function, especially with long-term consistent exposure. Then there's the often underestimated sodium problem. A mere half-cup serving of canned corn can contain over 300 milligrams of sodium. While this might not sound alarming in isolation, it becomes a significant factor when considering that many older adults are already managing conditions like high blood pressure, heart failure, or kidney disease, often with medications that require careful sodium monitoring. Excess sodium intake can lead to water retention, elevate blood pressure further, and place additional strain on an already taxed circulatory system. For a demographic where every heartbeat and every measure of blood pressure counts significantly, canned corn is a vegetable that seniors should ideally avoid or, at the very least, approach with extreme caution and awareness. The story of Clementine Nash, a 72-year-old who unknowingly sabotaged her health with frequent canned corn consumption, serves as a poignant reminder. By simply replacing this processed vegetable with fresh, steamed alternatives like green beans and roasted zucchini, Clementine experienced remarkable improvements in her blood pressure, reduced bloating, and an overall boost in her energy and well-being, underscoring the profound impact of such a seemingly small dietary switch. It might come as a shock, especially given their stellar reputation in the health world, but certain cruciferous vegetables, when consumed in their raw state, can paradoxically find themselves on the list of vegetables seniors should approach with caution or even avoid. This group includes popular choices like raw broccoli, raw kale, raw cauliflower, and raw Brussels sprouts. While these vegetables are undeniably packed with a wealth of nutrients, antioxidants, and fiber when cooked, their raw form can quietly interfere with crucial bodily functions, particularly thyroid health, digestion, and the absorption of essential nutrients, all areas of heightened concern for the senior population. Let's delve into the science behind this surprising caveat. Cruciferous vegetables naturally contain compounds known as goitrogens. When consumed in large quantities, especially in their raw form, goitrogens can suppress thyroid function. For younger individuals with robust endocrine systems, this might not pose a significant issue. However, for seniors, many of whom already experience a natural decline in thyroid function, slower metabolism, or are actively taking thyroid medication, these raw goitrogens can exacerbate existing problems. They work by interfering with the body's ability to absorb and utilize iodine, a mineral absolutely essential for the production of thyroid hormones. Without an adequate supply of active thyroid hormones, older adults may begin to experience increased fatigue, find it easier to gain weight, or even develop symptoms like depressive moods and a persistent sensitivity to cold. Adding to this, the digestive challenges posed by raw cruciferous vegetables cannot be overlooked. These vegetables are extremely high in insoluble fiber and complex sugars, such as raffinose. The aging gut often finds it more difficult to break down these components efficiently. Consequently, consuming them raw frequently leads to uncomfortable bloating, excessive gas, and a persistent feeling of fullness. These are symptoms many older adults already grapple with due to naturally slow digestion or underlying gastrointestinal conditions. While cooking these vegetables helps to soften their fibers and break down these complex sugars, making them far more digestible, their raw counterparts can present a genuine challenge to the senior digestive system. But the potential issues don't end there. Some research suggests that the goitrogens present in raw cruciferous vegetables can also impair the body's ability to absorb other vital minerals, specifically calcium and iron. These two minerals are absolutely critical for seniors. With advancing age, bone density naturally declines, increasing the risk of osteoporosis and fractures. Similarly, iron absorption can become less efficient, particularly in women over 60, leading to a higher risk of anemia and its associated fatigue. Therefore, while trendy raw kale salads and nutrient-dense green smoothies might seem like the epitome of health-conscious eating, they can inadvertently backfire if consumed too frequently by older adults without proper preparation, cooking, or careful dietary balance. Wallace Trentham's experience, a 75-year-old who enthusiastically embraced raw cruciferous smoothies only to suffer from fatigue and signs of thyroid and iron issues, highlights this. A simple switch to lightly steaming his vegetables dramatically improved his health, demonstrating that enjoyment of these nutritious foods is still possible with a little modification. When most people envision eggplant, they picture a beautiful, glossy purple vegetable, often starring in delicious Mediterranean dishes like ratatouille, moussaka, or grilled to perfection in an eggplant parmesan. It's a staple in many healthy eating patterns. However, what many older adults may not realize is that eggplant belongs to a specific group of vegetables known as nightshades. For some individuals, particularly seniors who struggle with arthritis, gout, or other forms of chronic pain, nightshades can quietly provoke inflammation and worsen joint discomfort, making eggplant one of the vegetables to approach with awareness. Nightshade vegetables, a family that also includes tomatoes, peppers, bell peppers and chili peppers, and white potatoes, contain a natural chemical compound called solanine. While solanine is generally not harmful in the small amounts typically consumed by most people, it can act as an irritant and exacerbate inflammation in individuals who are sensitive to it. For seniors already contending with conditions like osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, or generalized joint stiffness, this reaction can translate into intensified pain, more frequent flare-ups, and a noticeable reduction in mobility, often without a clear or immediate explanation. Many people remain unaware that the very foods on their plate could be contributing to their discomfort. Eggplant, in particular, can be a frequent trigger for this sensitivity because it's often consumed with the skin on, and the concentration of solanine tends to be highest in the skin and just beneath it. For some older adults, even moderate consumption of eggplant can lead to an increase in joint swelling, morning stiffness, or a pervasive fatigue, particularly affecting the hands, knees, and lower back. This isn't to say that eggplant is inherently a bad vegetable for everyone, but it represents one of those foods that seniors, especially those living with persistent joint pain, should monitor closely or consider avoiding if they notice a correlation. The reason for this heightened sensitivity in older adults often lies in the fact that seniors may have more fragile inflammatory response systems and a reduced tolerance for compounds like solanine, which might not affect younger, more resilient individuals as noticeably. Consider the experience of Ramona Delaney, a 70-year-old retired librarian. Despite her healthy lifestyle, her arthritis began to worsen, particularly after certain meals. Through careful food journaling, she and her rheumatologist pinpointed a surprising pattern. Her symptoms consistently flared up after consuming dishes containing eggplant, especially her beloved grilled eggplant paninis and baked vegetable lasagnas. As an experiment, Ramona eliminated eggplant from her diet for a month. The results were striking. Her morning stiffness significantly eased, her overall joint mobility improved, and she even found it easier to sleep at night due to reduced discomfort. Ramona's story illustrates that while eggplant offers nutritional benefits for a subset of seniors, its nightshade properties can unfortunately outweigh its positives, making it a vegetable to consume with caution and personal observation. It might seem almost heretical to place spinach, the long-celebrated symbol of strength and vitality, on a list of vegetables seniors should be wary of. After all, its reputation as a nutritional powerhouse is well-deserved. However, when it comes to raw spinach, especially for older adults who are taking certain medications or are dealing with existing deficiencies in calcium or iron, this leafy green can present a surprising paradox, potentially doing more harm than good. It's a perfect illustration of how a superfood can, under specific circumstances and for particular individuals, become a problem food. The primary concerns with raw spinach revolve around two key compounds it contains in high amounts: oxalates and vitamin K1. Let's first address oxalates. Spinach is incredibly rich in these naturally occurring substances. In the digestive tract, Oxalates have the ability to bind to essential minerals, most notably calcium and iron, forming insoluble compounds. This binding action makes these minerals much harder for the body to absorb and utilize. For older adults who are already at an increased risk for conditions like osteoporosis due to decreased calcium absorption and bone density, and anemia, often linked to poor iron absorption, this interference can lead to a gradual worsening of bone health, increased fatigue, and even contribute to issues like brittle nails or hair loss over time. It's a frustrating scenario. You might believe you're doing your body a great service by loading up on raw spinach salads and green smoothies, rich in these minerals. But in reality, a significant portion of those nutrients may never effectively reach your bloodstream due to the high oxalate content. Even more critically, raw spinach is exceptionally high in vitamin K1. This vitamin plays a crucial role in the body's blood clotting mechanisms. While an adequate intake of vitamin K is essential for overall health, excessive amounts become a serious concern for seniors who are taking blood-thinning medications, such as warfarin, Coumadin. These anticoagulant medications work by carefully reducing the body's ability to form blood clots, thereby preventing strokes or other cardiovascular events. A sudden or consistently high intake of vitamin K1 from sources like raw spinach can counteract the effects of these medications, making the blood clot more easily than intended. This can disrupt the delicate balance required for effective anticoagulation, potentially putting the individual at an increased risk of dangerous blood clots, strokes, or leading to inconsistent and difficult to manage INR levels, the blood test used to monitor clotting time. It's vital to note that this risk doesn't apply to all seniors. However, for those managing cardiovascular diseases like atrial fibrillation, those with a history of blood clots, and specifically those on anticoagulant therapy, raw spinach is undeniably one of the top vegetables to avoid or consume with extremely strict portion control and in consultation with their healthcare provider. Even a seemingly harmless large spinach salad consumed daily can throw off weeks of carefully calibrated blood tests and medication dosages. The story of Neville Rayburn, a 79-year-old on blood thinners whose INR levels started fluctuating wildly after he began drinking daily raw spinach smoothies, serves as a powerful real-world example. Once the raw spinach was removed, his levels stabilized. The key takeaway is that while spinach is nutrient-dense, its raw form requires careful consideration for seniors due to these specific interactions. Lightly cooking spinach, it's worth noting, can reduce both its oxalate content and, to some extent, its vitamin K concentration, making it a safer and more beneficial option for many older adults. Among the vast array of vegetables available, one humble root consistently stands out for its extraordinary capacity to support the aging body in multiple significant ways: the beet. Whether they are roasted to sweet perfection, steamed until tender, or blended into a vibrant, nutrient-rich smoothie, beets offer a powerful nutritional punch that directly addresses some of the most pressing health concerns commonly faced by older adults. These include challenges like poor circulation, high blood pressure, cognitive decline, and chronic inflammation, making beets a true champion in the realm of senior nutrition. So, what is it that elevates beets to the status of one of the best vegetables for seniors? Firstly, beets are exceptionally rich in natural compounds called dietary nitrates. Once consumed, these nitrates are converted within the body into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a remarkable molecule that plays a critical role in vascular health. It helps to relax and dilate blood vessels. This vasodilation improves blood flow throughout the body and, consequently, can lead to a reduction in blood pressure. For seniors whose arteries often tend to stiffen and narrow with age, a condition known as arteriosclerosis, this effect is particularly beneficial. Regular consumption of beets or beet juice has been shown in several studies to significantly improve vascular flexibility and help reduce the overall workload on the heart. Indeed, research has demonstrated that older adults who incorporate beets into their diet regularly can experience measurable drops in systolic blood pressure, which in turn can lower their risk of serious cardiovascular events like stroke and heart attack. Beyond their cardiovascular benefits, Beets also boast potent anti-inflammatory properties. This is largely thanks to unique compounds called betalains, the pigments that give beets their deep red-purple color, as well as other phytonutrients that actively combat oxidative stress. Chronic low-grade inflammation is increasingly recognized as a silent, underlying driver of nearly every major age-related disease, from joint pain and type 2 diabetes to heart disease and even cognitive decline. By incorporating anti-inflammatory vegetables like beets into the regular diet, seniors can help